Satisfactory is a game true to its name. The goal is to build a satisfying factory, or several factories depending on your playstyle. And in this video, I will be trying to cover most of the early game, where we go through our first few milestones and start making some more complicated materials. Hope you enjoy this and let me know if you want to see more in the future. To start off with, after Planetfall, our first order of business is to find a place to call home, or rather a place to start out at. Since I played this game a bunch in early access, I do already have some experience, and as such, I know there is a very nice place close to the grassland starting location where you can find some pure nodes for getting raw materials. The reason why pure resource nodes are valuable is the fact that raw material nodes have three qualities: pure, normal, and impure. Impure nodes will allow you to extract 30 resources per minute, normal nodes 60, and pure nodes 120. As such, pure nodes are far more efficient in terms of progression, since we'll only need a couple of miners and we can save on power, basically. With this goal in mind, I start heading out to the area that has 3 pure iron nodes, 1 pure copper node, and a normal limestone node in close vicinity, and this is where we'll be making our first spaghetti factory. You might ask what a spaghetti factory is, and it's not really a factory to make spaghetti, it just means that the belts are going to go everywhere, like spaghetti. It's not going to be looking pretty. However, before we get that far, we need to manually mine and get some of the automated miner bots up and running and craft the basic resources needed to unlock some of the early milestones, which will give us new buildings and new resources to mess around with. After clearing out the area of hostile life, we mine some iron and make the hub, which is one of the most important buildings that will allow us to do milestones by crafting resources and feeding them into it, to unlock new recipes, buildings, and other items that will help us in the future in order to allow the factory to grow. First, we get started on our first hub upgrade after crafting resources needed, and with the upgrade done, we get access to miner drones that will mine for us but need to be manually emptied. As such, our next order of business is to make a few of these and put them on the iron site. With the second hub upgrade completed, we now get access to power through the biomass burner and an electric smelter, which will improve our production. But to make these, we're going to need access to copper as well as iron, but this is going to allow us to automate a single smelter running on leaf power. The third hub upgrade gives us access to automatic construction in the sense that constructors can now make iron plates, iron rods, and basically take those ingots and turn them into actual materials. Power poles will also allow us to automate the making of this, because we can now hook power up to more than just one single piece of machinery. However, to make these, we will need concrete, which we get from limestone. With this new power pole technology, we make a few more smelters to speed up production, although these will still need to be hand-fed for a little longer. To speed things up even further, we take advantage of the new constructors and get started on making iron plates with them. After spending a little bit of time crafting, the fourth hub upgrade gets completed, which gives us access to conveyor belts, which will allow us some early automation. Basically, we can now take the ingots and feed them into the constructor, and once we get access to miners, we can take the miners and just automate the production of ore into the smelters, which is going to make life a lot easier. Hub upgrade 6 is the final hub upgrade, and it gives us access to more power in the sense that we can now make biomass burners. We also get access to the biomass recipe, where we can turn leaf and wood into biomass, which is a far more effective source of power than just burning them directly as leaves and wood. That's going to increase our power production, allowing us to make more automation. To get started with biomass generators, I set them up a little bit away from the base, as we will be somewhat automating the production of solid biofuel in the future once we unlock it. And we'll be setting up quite a few of these generators to produce power for us, and since we need to feed them belt-wise, it's good to have them all in one area. Each of these produce 30 megawatts, which will, again, just allow us to put up more production. Now, with hub upgrade 6 completed, we unlock tier 1 and 2, and with that we get a few more milestones. In particular, getting logistics is going to be important, as that will give us access to splitters, which will allow us to improve production by making production chains more efficient, as we can now use splitters to split belts into, better suited capacity, so to speak. The output, as an example of this, the output from the iron miner is 120, but the belt only allows us to use 60. But with 60 on a belt, even if we feed it into a smelter, the smelter can only use 30 of the 60 iron ore on that belt. So if we use a splitter, we can then split it into 2 smelters 30 each, getting full utilization of the iron ore available to us. And also, once we upgrade our belts to Mark II, we'll be able to take full capacity of that pure iron node that gives us 120 iron. So these upgrades are going to be extremely important to give us more resources to play with, but also to make our production chains far more efficient. With constructed setup, making the 5 base materials, life is getting a lot easier, as we now have automated iron plates, rods, screws, copper wires, and cables, which are going to be used for progression from this point forwards. Up to this point, we've been able to mostly manufacture what we needed manually, but now we need to take advantage of automation, as the number of items will only increase from this point forwards. As such, the priority is to unlock the chainsaw, which will allow us to clear an area of land of 3s, and also make a solid biofuel, which will allow us to use more power, which again can be used to increase production. We do also need to set up concrete, and I'm going to be setting up a line producing that very soon. Now, once we get that chainsaw done, we will start clearing 3s, as promised, and we'll also try and get the Mark II bells, which will allow us to take full advantage of the miners' outputs, as they output 120 resources, but our bells only can handle 60. The Mark II bells will allow us to take full advantage of our mining deposits. Up to this point, what we have been working on has been pretty basic, and as such, I've elected to summarize what happened. But going onwards, it's going to be a combination of the summaries that I've done so far with the live recording, as we're getting into assemblers, which combine 2 items, and there's going to be more interesting things going forwards. So I tried to condense the simple and to some degree maybe boring stuff, but now we're going to get into the more advanced part of Satisfactory. Have all the resources, we can launch the pod now for logistics, and I'm still going to need to make more reinforced iron plates.
Would like to remind you of your contractual obligation towards efficiency. Recreational use of belts and lifts does not count towards work hours and will put you on the list. Stay efficient.
No, don't put me on the list. I will not disappoint the Fix-It Corporation. But yeah, basically what that gave us now is conveyor belts 2. We can now stack them as well, and a conveyor lift. As you can see, transport up to 120 resources per minute, which is what our miners do, because they're on pure deposits. And I think at this point, before we get to the part assembly here, we might want to get base building unlocked. It's going to be a fairly cheap one, because getting these foundations would be very, very nice, because that means we can start building more of a flat area, start making an actual factory. We are going to do a little bit of remodeling here, and basically I'm going to take this and we're going to instead slap on a conveyor belt Mark II, which means that we now have 60 resources going to each of these bands, and that does mean we need to do a little bit of redesign of the iron production here. So let's just dismantle this to start off with, because I need now to feed this into 4 smelters. And while the constructors can actually just stay as they are, they're not a problem right now. I do think that we might need to turn this miner around just so we can actually get enough smelters in here. So we're actually going to go ahead and rebuild the miner, but pointing this way. And we are going to logistically have it split from a tier 2 belt into 2 tier 1 belts, and then we'll split them into 4 smelters. So let's see, can I actually fit 4 smelters here? One, 2. It's gonna be tight, I think, but looks like it's doable. Yeah, there we go. We could, in fact, place 4 melters here, so let's see, place you here, connect up to that one, and as you can see, I actually figured out how to build a mine there. It is doable, it's just a little bit difficult, but yeah, there we go. The smelters are now set up, and they're gonna need 30 a minute. Can get that sorted easily. Basically, we take another splitter, and we have this one go into said splitter, with the Mark 1 belt, and this one is going to be feeding these two. And the other splitter here is going to be feeding these two. So we actually ran out of iron plates. That's a little bit embarrassing. But with this, we basically now have doubled our iron smelting capabilities. And again, we now have 2 extra smelters here. Basically, that's what we've done. We've upgraded our capacity quite a bit. And the thing here is we can do the exact same thing with this iron mine too. And the iron mine down below, which means that we have 12 iron smelter worth of iron output. And that's going to make life a lot easier. So I think we still want to move the constructors. Just take full advantage of this whole area.
Distractions from your important mission.
Okay, so let's start placing the constructors here. These two are going to be the iron rod ones. Kind of similar to previously. But I think we're going to make 2 that purely makes iron rods as well. Basically, 2 on the left that are going to be fed into nail producers. I don't know if we can fit them here though. That's going to be the big one. It's going to look a little bit scuffed, but it is doable. So here's the idea. These 2 are going to be producing screws, and well, these are going to produce 30 iron rods. I actually need another one. Okay, we are going to have to place you guys somewhere else. Probably down here in a bit of a even weirder layout. Because what I want to do here is to have a converger merger. Take the outputs from these 2. That way we have now gone ahead and made this a 30 line. And we are going to go ahead and let's just get rid of these for the time being. That one, that one. Like so. Again, this is going to look very scuffed because it's being built on a slope, but I need the space to set up the mergers. I don't know if this is going to work. Set it up at the top of the slope instead. Now we feed this merger into a splitter. And now we're splitting the output, which is basically 30 iron rods, into 3 nail producers. Or screws, nails. Almost the same, just slightly different wrapping. And now I'm going to need to merge these again into a storage container. Again, going to look rather scuffed at the start here, but it should be fine. The main thing here that's going to be an issue is the fact that I need to power all of this. Which means we are... That's not what I wanted to build. Which means that we are going to have to add some power outputs to this monstrosity. So let's add a couple more here. There we go. That is 1 line just for making screws. And that's going to produce, I think, 120 screws a minute. Which is going to be pretty good. These 2 are going to be making the iron rods. And they need, again, just 15 ingots per minute. So we're going to need to do another splitter. But as you can imagine here, we're going to have an excess of iron at this stage. And this is a rod producer, I believe. Yeah, so let's just dismantle you for the time being, like so. And I probably should go ahead here. I don't think you're connected to anything, so I can get rid of you. I think we're going to go ahead and take the other 2 and just have them produce plates. I think that's going to be the play here. And I do need to make another merger. We're kind of upgrading our, basically doubling our output here to some degree. I could, of course, done this by just using irregular stuff on the other one. I think this is a little bit more interesting. Now we need to hook you up to power. Like so. And as I mentioned, I think for these two, we just have them produce plates. I think that is going to be the easiest way to do this for now. Then I can change them to something else later on if I see the need. We do need to make, you know, we do need to get the assembler. And once we get the assembler up and running, it's going to be making, it's going to be taking some of these outputs. But for now, we need a lot of iron plates for basically everything in terms of the milestones. So we'll do it like this. So let's just place you over here. That way you're not really in the way if I need to, you know, move things. And again, these foundations are pretty big. So it's not going to take a lot to cover this area. Wire for the field research. Let's get that sorted. Shouldn't be a problem. This thing has still been running. And again, I could just expand this one to produce more resources. Okay, did we run out of power here, or what's the issue? That one is maxed out, so I assume we just went over capacity. Yeah, we did. So time to expand. Honestly, let's just get the power, get ahead of the power here, and add 2 more burners. Like so. And I'm also going to go ahead here and remove this one, because we are going to change the layout a little bit here. This one is going to go in here. Gonna need another splitter. And if we need more power after this, that's when things are gonna start becoming really annoying. Because then we need to split this into 3 equal lines, or, you know, just make another producer, which is probably gonna be the better thing to do. But yeah, that way they are gonna get back into power. I do have 2, so that might be enough. I want to dismantle this belt now, and we're going to replace it with a conveyor belt level 2. I need 1 more plate, so let's go and just make that while these guys fill up. Because getting that plate on, rather upgrading that, is going to make sure that we don't run the risk of running out of resources. And as you can see, right now, we don't really have any problems with plates. I should also just go ahead and do this while I'm here. Let's launch. Field research has been unlocked, and with that, we're now going to get the assembler. Okay, so basically what that field research did was unlock the MAM, which is a analysis machine. We still need reinforced iron plates, because why wouldn't we? But basically this thing is going to allow us to research things. I basically believe that is the way how we would get alternate recipes, for instance. So let's just slap this one down here. And what do you have to offer? So yeah, we can research things that we have. In this case, some of the resource that I would have on me, like the spitter research here, we can do. And that unlocks a whole bunch of new things for us to do. That didn't give us anything, but I can make a nutritional processor later on.
Due to its tendency to stay light in color even when ripe, is compatible with the human digestive system and has been added to the object scanner. Further research
Deuterium.
is available.
I believe this is a exchange for wire in the future.
Means you waive Fixit's responsibility for any accidents or misuse of these technologies.
It's getting sassy because I'm going through it too quickly.
Mercer sphere analysis completed. Established local planetary signature of massage 2, AB, B, in the local Mercer sphere signals, allowing them to be tracked by the object scanner. Mercer spheres can also transmit data between specific...
Witness our scripture, witness our windows. Have you come to defile our shrine? Sing us a song.
Arguing the existence of intelligent alien life. While Fixit has figured out the method, all of the original data is still untranslatable.
Okay, let's just get some research done here. We can make alien protein to make alien DNA capsules. Oh, I made a mistake here with the screws. We need to upgrade the screw band. Literally, it does 120, because there's 3 of them. And launch. Part assembly is going to give me access to
produce more complex parts,
the assembler.
The first project part, smart plating, which is crucial for initiating project assembly. Project parts must be delivered to the space elevator. By completing your contracted duties as part of project assembly, you will definitely be helping achieve Fix-It Company goals without any other ulterior motive. Note, humans cannot craft project parts. Do not worry about your inadequate crafting skill when compared to an assembler. Fix-It cherishes your innate human abilities, such as walking, striking objects, and commodifying natural resources.
So basically, we now can automate the production of the things like the rotor here. As you can see, we can also automate things like the reinforced iron plates, which also would be kind of nice. And both of them need an insane amount of screws. So maybe we convert the other iron source at the bottom to just a screw and rod factory to make rotors alone. So I'm going to have to sit down and do a little bit of calculations on the ratio. But that shouldn't be a big problem. We can do that. But the main problem with doing something like that is just going to be straight up power. That is going to be the main thing that would limit us. We also do need more Caterium to actually research the ingots and then the wire. Let's just build the assembler here and see what it has to offer. Probably should build it over here if I want to do anything with screws and plates. It would be possible, but I think the easier way to do this right now is actually just do it like this. Because, as I mentioned, power is a concern. Oh, I don't have any more cables. I sacrificed them all for more inventory space. But yeah, I think the easier thing is just to have it produce it on its own. Like, I'll produce the rotors, I'll produce the plates. Because right now, there's not really anything we need other than those 2 things. And if I can produce 50 of each, that's basically that project done. It's still going to take 25 minutes to make it, so we might need more assemblers just to speed up that process. But this basically allows me to wait with building assemblers until I actually have a good power source to deal with it. And also, it's going to allow me to wait until we get a little bit closer to the water, if you will. Right now, if we take a quick look, power-wise, I think we're still fine. But it looks like that man has run out of resources. So I do need to craft some of that. And honestly, if we extend the... Basically, if I want to automate this, I'm going to need 3 assemblers. That is 50-ish. Well, 45, to be fair. That's 45 megawatts. That's an additional 30 on the grid here, which isn't too bad right now. But I think we need more resources to really automate it. So I'll do that a little bit later. Again, at one point, the biofuel demand is just going to become so high that it makes it untenable. So I think I'd rather just manually craft this. It's going to take a while again. We might make another assembler to speed up the process with the smart platings. But for the time being, as I mentioned, I think it's just better to manually craft these things. I can actually place it here. That looks terrible. Why is it floating? Why was it ascending there for a while? Oh yeah, we need to see the elevator come in. Okay, that is looking good. We got the space elevator up and running.
Project assembly initialized. Congratulations, Pioneer.
And
The space elevator will now automatically connect with the project assembly orbital platform. Project assembly is divided into phases, each of which require the delivery of project parts.
And I'm just going to be lazy here and do it like this.
Subsequent phases unlock access to new tiers with more advanced technologies
There we go.
to construct, automate, explore, and exploit. It is time to be honest. This project is part of the Save the Day program.
Okay, so
Undertaking in human history.
now we just need to produce 50, so about 15 more minutes. 33, okay, so we're a little bit off still. But while they're making rods, I think we're going to go and have a look at what I see over there, because that looks like a crashed ship that contains hard drives. And those are important for a couple of reasons. Basically, again, a lot of the basic recipes that you're given are very inefficient. And one way to combat that inefficientness is to find better recipes. Now, we're just going to leave that Mercer Spear alone for now. We might nab it on the way back. But we'll see what we can find. I'm also, again, very tempted to just build at the coast here. That's just a regular copper mine. It's not really a deposit. Because we could just start building a factory, ship the resources in through, say, over here. Is that Caterium? Ability. Oh. The heck are you guys? Oh. It's another one of those flowers that spit out bugs. You guys just gonna follow me for eternity? If I run away, we'll see if you give up. More of those annoying flowers. An old man who's probably not going to be an issue. This block's died? No, it's iron. That's a big angry man and a bug. Let's try and kill the flower first. And I do need to heal a little bit, so let's just do this. Can I just snatch this without him realizing? Oh. Okay, so you're actually predicting where I'm going. I think we're running right now. Oh, okay, I can't actually dodge that. It's a bit bad. That immediately did a ton of damage. You malfunction? Nope. Okay, fella, either I die or you die. He died. Okay, good. Because that was a big spitter. He gave a ton of rewards. But I don't know if I want to go close to this place because 74 status. Okay, so maybe we want to explore these places because they have a lot of resources. As long as I don't trigger the angry ones, I think it'll be fine. Like, I need to heal, so let's go and pick up those berries. And let's eat these. Oh. Before we go in on the... I didn't actually see this flower initially, which is kind of bad. Wait, do you have nothing to let out? Did you let out everyone earlier? But yeah, the fact that there's a bunch of free resources around these things is kind of nice, and probably a reason why I should go and look for more of them. But this is the main thing that we're looking for, the hard drive.
Damaged hard drive successfully acquired. All pioneers are contractually obliged to preserve and secure any recovered hard drives for analysis in the MAM, which may result in benefits to the Fix-It mission. Speculation as to why there are crashed freighters in your Fix-It designated zone is discouraged as specified in your contract.
Okay, let's scan the hard drive, which is going to take 10 minutes. So that'll just have to do its own little thing. But I'm going to slap in the nice new resources. The fact that we got 130 status is going to make life potentially a lot easier later on. So as I mentioned, we might need to go on an expedition to look for some more hard drives, just purely due to that. That means we've basically done the first part of the space program. And with the first part of the space program, we're going to be given a lot more freedom. So yeah, 11 left. We have one here, one there, one there, which means that, yes, we're actually making one extra at the moment, but that's fine. Excuse me. We might as well just run and take a look at that Caterium node, see if I can find anything else on the trip. Because as I mentioned, what we're currently going to be doing right now is just play it a little bit slow until we get coal power, and then we can set up some better resource lines, if you will. There we go. A little bit cheesy, because, again, building your way up to places probably isn't what was intended, but it is what I will do. These are more basic resources that we already have a bunch of, but it still helps. 20 reinforced iron plates would really have helped a lot earlier, so not a bad thing. Okay. You need a frame. A modular frame to be opened. We can do that. We just need to run home and build one. Let's just get that made. And we'll go and celebrate our success here with the space elevator. Go on, little buddy, you can do it.
Welcome to the Project Assembly Pioneer Progress presentation. Congratulations, the Phase 1 project part shipment is now ready for delivery. On delivery, Phase 1 will be completed and the distribution platform will be constructed. After completion of Phase 1, the technologies of Tiers 3 and 4 will become available in the hub. Highlights are automated power, steel production, personnel transportation, and many more. Completing Phase 2 of Project Assembly is your next main objective. New project parts will need to be produced and delivered to the space elevator as you have done previously. Continue to construct, automate, explore and exploit for a better Fix-It future.
Okay. And then we just ship it. Probably should go and find a nice angle to look at it from. I think the hub would be good. It's far enough away. We're actually building an orbital station.
Phase 1 of Project Assembly completed. This is only the beginning of Project Assembly, the first step towards saving the day. You have performed adequately so far. Reminder, not only is Fix-It saving humanity,
I
it is
perform
saving all
adequately?
Earth, including kittens and puppies. It is statistically likely that you appreciate the continued existence of kittens and or puppies.
It is in fact
Continue the work
statistical
for
likely,
your
yes.
sake. Continue the work for Fix-It. It is time to start the work on Phase 2 of Project Assembly.
I have performed adequately so far. That's the best thing I've heard. Okay, MAM research complete. Is that the hard drive? Yeah. So, oh,
Hard drive analysis completed. Alternative recipe selection available in the MAM.
oh, I don't know which one of these are the best. Fuse quick wire or fused wire, because we have to select one of these. It's more resource efficient than the quick wire. I don't know if the quick wire is used for anything in particular, but we'll pick this one. We can always go and, you know, find more hard drives in future, so it's not really a big problem. We're actually going to go and do that right now. And also, we now have unlocked tier 3 and tier 4. And with that, we can now start to get some really, really fun stuff going. So, steel production with better miners, better powers, the hypertubes, which basically is a way to kill yourself. Mostly in the game, to be fair. Basically, you launch yourself out of wall. But I think what we're going to do first is just straight up get coal power up and running. I think that would be the best thing to do here, as that is going to solve basically all of our power issues and allow us to start doing a lot of other things. So with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead here and get started on this. And I'm also going to fix this one so that it makes the reinforced iron plates. And I'm just going to take iron plates from here. We're going to take iron screws from here. And basically, I'm just going to run around doing a little bit more of exploring while this thing makes some iron plates. It's going to make 5 per minute, which should be fine. And honestly, that will solve any problems. But yeah, let's go and get that hard drive. And now we can open the door. Get that hard drive. And we're just going to research that immediately. And maybe get a good recipe out of it. Who knows? I'm just going to leave this for now. Kind of shows where I've been. Yeah, that's going to be nice. Let's also research silica while we're at it.
Research completed. Silica recipe unlocked. New quartz research available.
Okay, sulfur, what do you have to offer us? Ah, booms.
This unknown chemical element was in reality an unusual mixture of solid sulfide and sulfate materials from which sulfur can be extracted. Sulfur's primary use lies in fertilizers, which we have no use for. Instead, this element enables access to more volatile obstacle clearing and pioneer defending tools.
Yes. Nobelisks, aka booms. I want the booms, but for now we're just going to scan the hard drive and get started on making the 50 rotors we need. And I can actually make silica at the moment. Okay, my recipe link here is starting to become very, very long. I don't know if that's a positive thing. And there we are. We now have everything we need, and we're going to launch the pod. Then we're going to have to figure out where coal is, and then we're going to have to make some stuff here.
By burning coal, which has been added to the resource scanner.
Other than that, I think steel is going to be our next goal.
Coal-powered generator and will require a network of pipelines to be transported from a water source. To assist with locating and identifying water, Fixit has compiled this guide. Water is a
Yeah, basic steel is going to be our next thing.
Thick vegetation growing nearby. To test if something is water, try touching it. If it is not solid and does not corrode your suit, it is probably water.
Change this to modular frames. Which means I need to dismantle this one and this one in. Sorry, not modular frames. I want this to be rotors. The rods are coming. They're just very, very slow. It needs 100 screws per minute. Which means we need to upgrade this to a Mark II belt. So this should give us the rotors that I need later on, which shouldn't be a huge problem. And next up, finding coal. I feel like we might need to move bases. Literally no coal nearby? A kilometer. Okay, so we are gonna go scout for coal. To be fair, this lake could be... If we can get... Like, this wouldn't be a bad place to build a factory. Like, I might be able to set up a coal production plant here because it needs water now. And that does look like a wreck over there as well. So we might set up the production plant here. Hello. Oh. Hey, did I just get one? Wait, that's cheating. You went in the water. I can't go that deep. Okay, we are leaving. I can hear the pitter-patter under the water. They are cheating by being not drowning. Look at that. That is the scariest thing I've seen. Little spider under the water. Following me. Okay, there's actually 3 of you. That's 1 down. Wait, did the rest get eaten by the world or something?
Samples of unknown alien species acquired. Initial data suggests these are predators, but notably they do not have a traditional mouth or eyes. There are, however, numerous cavities on their head which could fulfill a similar function. Research the remains in the MAM to establish classification and potential countermeasures.
Okay, so that is another wreck, but it has a lot of defense. I can still hear the pitter-patter, however. Like, they must have gone under the map. Oh, you look angry. Oh yeah, I'm in trouble. Can't catch me, son. Damn, that was actually scary. Okay, that second hog coming in. A second hog has hit the tower. Was not what I was ready for. Hey, little one. Thank you. Encased industrial beam, steel. Okay, so considering that I'm looking for basically, you know, coal, I'm getting coal-related stuff, I guess. Anything else lying around here? Doesn't look like it. MAM results. I can go and get the hard drive research done now. Where is the... Oh, it's in the middle of the lake? Needs 60 megawatts. Oh my god. That mean I need to, like, connect power to it? I do. Do I have what I need to build 2 biomass burners? I do. Do I have biomass fuel? I do. That is actually hilarious that I can get this done. What do you mean the grid is shut down? Do I need more than 60, or is, you know, perfect not acceptable? Fact, perfect was not acceptable. Don't know how I feel about, you know, electrifying a lake. That smells like a bad idea. Hey, more reinforced iron plating. Okay, That is not sorted. Let's continue with our previous interaction, which was finding coal, and apparently I'll have to see which one is the best one here, because this seems to be in the middle of the jungle. I think we also have different other things we can research. Iron wire or Caterium wire. This one seems pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. 120 a minute for just one Caterium. 1 to 8 wire. I think we take this one over the iron for now. Which wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. It's probably going to be a little bit cancer to run these power poles through the entire jungle, however. If I ever need to do a cleanup. I'll place one over here, like so. Now, the coal power generators are actually pretty huge, as it turns out. So, gonna need to make a few more foundations. Coal power generator. It has its inputs on that side, which is fine.
Interesting, most pioneers already had coal power set up by this point because they understood their responsibility to humanity.
Thank you
Adjusted
for...
pioneer attitude metrics. Reminder,
Wow.
coal-powered generators require coal.
Thank you, sassy one. Okay, so we need to figure out the way to get coal into these before I'm drowning. I also need water, but this looks like it should be good enough just for the power. So let's see if we can extend this first so we can actually hook it up to the power line. Because that's going to be numero uno to actually get power to the coal miners. Question is now, can I add a pipeline to this? I can, okay. It's going to be clipping, but that's acceptable. Okay, how's the coal arrived yet? Coal is arriving over here. I love that the thing just says that a player is in the way when it's just I am in the way. Okay, like so. That is the coal. I'm gonna go and pick a few up here and just see how this works, because this band is very, very slow. It is 60 items a minute, but I don't have enough space. Okay. Let's just get rid of the copper and the iron ore. That's a nice stack for the time being. Okay, 3 coal. Again, I believe this works a lot more like a steam turbine now, but as I mentioned earlier when I played... Okay, so 15 per minute, which means one band can support 4. You do need water, however. For extracted, did I just plop it down here?
That may indeed be water. Try submerging your arm. If it does not dissolve, that will narrow down the range of possibilities. Or you could just pipe it to a coal-powered generator and see what happens.
I don't want to stick my arm into something to see if it dissolves. That sounds like a terrible idea. Help, I'm dissolving.
Fix-it pipelines can contain any fluid, including the water necessary for coal-powered generators. Note: water does not flow upwards by itself. While water extractors provide some lift, to truly defy gravity, consider the use of pipeline pumps.
I still need to power it. I guess this is where we'll place power sources, and we'll hook you up to the net like that. Okay, what do you do exactly? 2 square, 130 square meters of water per minute. Okay. You have powered up, which is nice. It uses 45 square meters of water a minute. This one gives what? 120? 2.6... Wait, does that mean... Like, two of these would use 90. It would leave him with 30 left over. Yeah, it's 267%, which means that... If I want this to go up perfectly... 3 of these into 8 coal generators, which is basically the same as we have with the limestone. Do I need that, though? Is it a little bit overkill to set that up this early? Probably. So, let's do it. Set up as many as we can for the time being, and then I'll deal with it later. We want 8 here for this coal power generation plant. How many is that? That is 5. Okay, is that with it's with the power pole? That's fine. That is 6. Again, I'm just gonna set this up for future. Basically, I'm just gonna have it done and ready. Because 8 power plants should give us what, 600 megawatts, which is basically 4 times our current power supply. Just gonna make life a little bit easier, and it's gonna allow me to just set up the production lines for the stuff that I need now for the milestones, and then we can set up probably just coal production over here where the coal is, and then we can deal with that as we go. So 6 of them have been made. I need 2 more, but I don't have the reinforced iron plates. Okay, so this is what we'll start with. This one serves about 2.5, so make 1 more and we put 5 of them up and running already. However, each line only feeds 4. That's also something I need to keep in mind. With that, we now have a 330 megawatt capacity. Okay. I need to go and get a bunch more resources, particularly the flat ones. But the coal power plant is almost prepped. We still don't have access to a Mark II miner, which is going to improve output. I don't think we have anything to worry about. If that makes sense. Is the map done yet after my rambling? It is. A copper rotor. Or a stitched plate with iron wire and... Huh. That's interesting, honestly. I don't know which one of these would be best. Like, the copper sheet is basically 6 copper. Sorry, the copper sheets are basically 12 copper. And for this one, we can just use one of the alternate recipes to make, say, fused wire, and then use metal plates. I don't know if... Like, this... Generally, you use 6 iron plates for this. That's the thing. This is what we need right now. So we'll take the stitch iron plate. I don't have any hard drives to scan. What am I doing? And of course, if I need to, we just move the factory later on. It's not a big deal. Okay. Logistics, I need the conveyor splitter. Okay, that should be all of them hooked up. Next up, we need one last pump, and we'll just place it over here at the end. And also need some junctions. Which means I actually do need to go and make more sheets, as it turns out. Because I don't have enough to make the pump here. Okay, so with 2 of you running, there should be enough power here for, or rather enough water to run 5 of these. There we go, all of them are running. We can now disconnect the biofuel, bring us to a 600 megawatt production. Okay, good. That's what I wanted. And with that, as I mentioned, plan now is very, very simply to start producing probably the factory. I am stubborn, and I will make my way up here if it's the last thing I do, and then probably fall to my death. Okay, I'm clicking everything right now, which is a bad thing. And I still need to get even further up. But that seems to be an easy thing to do. Hello? My sulfur? It is in fact a sulfur node up here. It's a pure one too. Is there anything else of interest up here though? Looks like some Caterium. Which honestly I shouldn't bother mining. But the fact that we can... Like, I could potentially set up a sulfur factory up here. Which would be hilarious in its own way. Do I really need to build another bridge to get back up to the sulfur node? No. I think I'm just going to mine like 100 sulfur here. Bring it back home. And then we'll make a decision. Because the bridge will still be there. Like, I can climb back up here and rebuild it. But honestly, I probably should work on milestones right now. And if I really, really need to open that node, I can do that later. So, yeah. Sorry for the hiccups. The burp-ups, if you will. Okay, let's try and get down from here without dying. And that will be the end of the first part of Satisfactory. There's definitely going to be more. I gotten a little bit addicted to the game again. We went from nothing to coal power, which I think is a fairly good thing to do in the first 3-ish hours, which is how much time this video was cut from. It's kind of hard deciding what should be kept, what should be removed. But I'll try in the future to maybe add more sped up footage, maybe of the construction itself, while I explain either afterwards or before what I'm doing with the construction, because I do feel like I was missing out on some of the context on why I was doing what I was doing, and honestly that's not really a good thing. So let me know what you think. We might actually, you know, mess around with this more in the future. As I mentioned, I am getting kind of back in Satisfactory. It is a fun game, so let me know what you think. Thank you for watching, and I do hope to see you around next time. Please like, subscribe if you want to see more. Bye bye.